A real quick overnight update because there's not a lot to update you on, and I know this is coming late. I had an eye appointment, my eyes are dilated, I can't use my special little light for these videos. So anyways, BB28 spoilers incoming. But really the only thing is we're waiting to see how many times this vote is going to flip and flop. Rome thinks he's pretty confident that he has the votes to stay, which is not really necessarily true. I want to see some diary rooms from some specific people like a Yash and a Kamu on Wednesday's episode. Just because it seems to me like they are on board with voting Rome out if he's available now. Because they've kind of created this other bro alliance that's not totally real. I mean, Yash is with Devon's, Drew, and Barrett, and they've been joking with Dee and Angela about creating said alliance. So, like, it's not a real alliance, but to Yash it is. So, I feel like because of that, because they have this other bro alliance, now they are comfortable with letting Rome go because it's like one dude out of the way. Jason is planning to tell Rome that Rome should throw the blockbuster to him in order for Jason to come down from the block, and then that would be a vote in Rome's favor. So we'll see when that conversation happens how that is received. I feel like if Rome is already feeling confident that he has all the votes, then he's probably not going to fall for that. And Dee and Haley both have already tossed out the idea of just evicting Melody this week so that Drew doesn't have someone close to him like that. So that conversation definitely is going to come up again. I am sure of it. And we'll just have to wait and watch and see. Today starts their lockdown until after head of household. There's already been a lot of talks of Dee, Angela, Haley creating messes and different things like that to try and get reactions out of different house guests. They just really kind of want to see some fireworks in there, I guess, and just cause more chaos, basically, especially within that other side of the house. So we will see what these next couple days of them being locked inside is going to bring. But we do need to be on showmance watch, but I'm not sure how true all of these showmances will end up being. So first, obviously, we have the Lyric and Rome situation. They've been a showmance. Earlier in the week before the veto ceremony, they faked a breakup. Some people bought it. Some people knew it was fake. They did an okay job of hiding it for a while. I feel like yesterday after the veto ceremony, they didn't do such a great job of hiding it anymore, that it was fake. But then they're back on today trying to pretend that it's fake. Lyric has like attached herself to Chuck today, and she's telling people that she's fine with voting out Rome if that's the way the house is going to go. Chuck ate it all up. He actually believed everything that she was saying in this conversation, which is crazy because literally like 5 minutes ago, Lyric was talking to Lala and Taylor in the storage room and trying to campaign on Rome's behalf. They weren't totally sold on the idea, but they're definitely open. We have Drew and Melody. With the Drew and Melody situation, I do think that there is genuine chemistry and attraction between the two of them, but there were some conversations early last week about Melody potentially having someone already at home, even though in the casting process she said she was single. So I don't think that that's actually going to happen, but they may be a little bit flirty. But Kamu did have a conversation with Drew today and told Drew that there are several people in the tool shed, Chuck, Angela, Dee, and Haley, that were talking last night about how close him and Melody are and really having some concerns about that. Drew kind of blew it off, and just a little bit ago, him and Barrett were having a conversation about this as well, and they came up with this idea to start a new operation called Operation Whipped, where they pretend to be in these showmances, and they think that that is then going to make the girl in the showmance be a target over them. I don't know about this strategy, and I don't know how sold Barrett truly was on this, but Barrett would be paired up with Mallory. So we'll be on Barrett and Mallory watch. There was like I know Mallory is into Barrett. She has said as much. Obviously, Barrett was into Dee, but Dee has really kind of backed off. And I just don't think that that's really what Dee is looking for right now in the house. So I think Barrett might try and move on to Mallory, but I also just don't think he really feels that way about her, but maybe for game he's willing to do it. So that's our showmance watch. But let's go back to all of these conversations with Drew, Kamu, and Barrett. Drew has been really busy today. He had some really long one-on-ones with each Kamu and Barrett separately. He has a final 2 locked in with each of these people. Kamu was talking a lot in the conversation with Drew about needing to separate Dee and Devins. So I'm going to be watching very closely to see when Drew talks to some of the crossover alliance, does he bring this up or does he still hold these cards close to his chest? He has said as late as yesterday that the crossover is his main alliance. That is who he truly wants to work with. But I do wonder if he has some hesitation now after Kamu told him that some of them aren't fully bought in on him anymore because of the Melody situation. As far as Drew and Barrett, I think that they're pretty much on the same page with a lot of things, but there are some things that Barrett knows Drew has kept from him, and Barrett told Drew straight up in this conversation that if he is to win HOH, he doesn't really care about this whole big Toolshed alliance. He still plans on targeting Kamu and Chuck. Drew didn't really fight him on it, even though he has this final 2 with Kamu. He actually kind of said like, oh, if that's what you want to do, I would fully support it. So I don't know. Drew is doing a lot. I do think that at the end of the day, his true loyalty does lie with the crossovers, but he is starting to get really messy within that alliance itself. And I feel like the messiness should have stayed outside of the alliance. As far as the 3 nominees, I haven't really been seeing Rome do a ton of campaigning. I haven't seen Jason do really any campaigning. They could be doing it and just not on, like, it's not being shown on the feeds. I've mostly been seeing Melody campaign. Rome's side of the house seems to think that if Jason or Rome wins the blockbuster, that they have the votes to send Melody home. And I really do not think that's the case. They need Angela and Dee. And when they were having the conversation between Taylor, Lyric, and Lala just a little bit ago, they did include Dee and Angela as a vote, like votes that they were counting, and they don't have those votes currently. Not saying it can't happen, but I do still fear for Melody this week. So far today, there hasn't been any more discussion from the Toolshed side of the house of sending her out, but it's only Tuesday. You know, tomorrow is Waffle Wednesday. And last week, they started on Tuesday night with all of their waffling. So we will see how tonight goes. If anything changes, I will definitely make sure to update you. So make sure you hit the follow button if you haven't yet.